Whether you realize it or not, fear and love are the two emotions that drive every action that a human does. Whether it's something positive or whether a human has discipline in order to not do something wrong, it's out of fear. If you love someone, you want to do certain things for them. It changes what you want to do for them and who you want to be for that person. If you fear hurting someone, and I'm using human relationships because these are the easiest for us to relate to. If you fear hurting someone, you're not going to do things that might be selfishly good for you, but could potentially hurt the person that you love. So those two sort of work together. They're opposite ends of the same. We're going to talk about those today in episode 10 of 10 Minute Tanya Tuesday. I know I have a new backdrop here. Recording from home today. Not yet in the office, so sorry I'm missing the posters, but hopefully we'll get some stuff back here. Okay, we talked about thought, speech, and action and how those are the garments of your soul that your soul gets to wear in order to dress itself in a loftier manner than it would by itself. Meaning you're a regular good dude, but now you got a free gift card to Neiman Marcus and you dress yourself real nice. Thought, speech, and action are the ways to go about dressing your soul in this world. And actually, the thought, speech, and action of this world that you can do physically in a body are actually able to take you to heights that you couldn't get to on your own. Because when you dress yourself in the thought, speech, and action / the garments that God provides you with, 613 garments to be exact, those garments are God's essence. They're His wisdom that He condensed into the Torah and gave you a way to elevate yourself with Him, which we said, Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav. You say that whenever you make a bracha before a mitzvah, that you are becoming holy via His commandments. So we know that every single one of these 613 commandments is a way for us to dress our soul or elevate ourselves in a much nicer outfit than what we would have otherwise. Today, we're going to talk about fear and love and how fear and love basically control whether or not you take advantage of those 613 ways to dress yourself in God's wisdom, to elevate your soul in a way that you would not be able to otherwise. Now, fear and love are emotive attributes. They basically you could say that love is chesed and fear is gvura, but basically they're already past the intellectual faculties, which we talked about, chokhmah bina dat. So fear and love are emotions that can be birthed using your intellect. Actually, they have to be. Most people think that they think about what they want to do based on what they love and what they fear. That's already in the emotive state of our intellectual, psychological, spiritual journey. Chokhmah bina dat, your three intellectual faculties, those actually allow you to change what you fear and what you love. Because if you think about something for a long time and you fully comprehend it, and then you internalize it, it changes what you love and what you fear. Meaning, if I sit around and think about how this great God, the one and only God who can't be compared to any man and vice versa, is so far above and elevated and exalted above us that we can't even understand Him. He, by Himself, took Himself and condensed Himself into a way for us to be able to access Him via the Torah, because we said He and His wisdom are one, according to Rambam, Maimonides. And He did that, why? So that we have a way to become holy via the 613 commandments. He didn't do that for Him. He did that for us. If I sit and dwell on that and really go deep into it and think about how He did all of this for me, well, that might cause me to love Him, because I'm going to be like, wait a second, He doesn't benefit from me doing this. We'll get into that later. But He did all of this where He reduced Himself, which He didn't need to. Why? For me. So that I could do Torah and mitzvahs. Think about all the things he does for you, the life he breathes into you, the parnasa, the income you get from him, the good health, the family, all of that stuff. If you really contemplate it, you will see that you really have no choice but to love the guy, right? Because look at how much he's done for you. That's usually how love works with people. You see and appreciate who they are to you and what they've done, and that makes you feel love, meaning you've intellectually understood everything that they are to you, and now you feel love for them. Fear goes the opposite way. When you understand how great and powerful God is, and if you look in the Parsha and the Torah, you'll see all these different things about how God punished those who didn't listen. And I don't want to take that approach because that's not my style. That's not the style of Chassidus. But think about the person you love. If it was just a human being, let's say your spouse or your mother or someone, and you understand that if you transgress or you go against that person's will, that person laid out 613 ways to love them. And out of that, they said, here's 365 things that I don't appreciate. Every time you do or transgress one of those 365, you're basically saying, yeah, I don't really care, right? I know you don't appreciate it, but whatever. It's not my jam, right? If you know that you love that person and you don't want to lose connection to that person, well, then you're going to fear losing that connection. So you might not fear what happens on the spot, but as you constantly over and over transgress those 365 negative commandments, you might start to realize that you're disconnecting yourself from the one that you love. So again, you intellectually birth these fear and love by having an understanding and internalizing that. And now that you know you love someone, or you fear that person because they're scary, or you love them because they're great and what they do for you, well, now you're going to have no choice but to fear losing connection from that person. If you're talking about being married to someone and you know that doing things they don't like causes distance, well, you're going to fear doing that. Even though you're not scared for your life, you're going to fear losing that connection. So fear and love are what actively drive us doing basically everything that we do in life. And when it comes to Torah and mitzvot, the fear and love drive everything. So fear and love are these two sort of emotions or these wings that give us a chance to go about performing all of the mitzvahs. We have to utilize those things in order to make sure that we are taking advantage of the 248 positive commandments and to make sure that we're not disconnecting. Because when we think about God's greatness and how he sustains all of us, and everyone in Israel totally recognizes that right now, maybe more than ever. And we understand that we don't want to lose that connection to him because we have a chance to elevate our souls with these garments, right? And if we don't, we either lose an opportunity to do so, or we actually disconnect and give strength to the unclean forces of the world, which we don't really want to do because that's not what he wants. So even if it's not about us, it's not what he wants. And the other way around, if it's not what he wants, well, you lose that connection. And that's not something that you want to do when you are connected to your spiritual life source. Let's let that sink in for a little bit. And in the next one, we will get more into some other stuff. All right, take care.